Eddie Hearn talks about Francis Ngannou in UFC, Isreal Adesanya gives his thoughts on what Peanut Head believes, and Jamahal Hill looks for his next opponent. All this and more in today's MMA Rumor. 1. Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn believes UFC should re-sign Francis Ngannou. While we're still in the early stages of 2022 and Ngannou isn't ready to take on the fight for the foreseeable future, there is a contract dispute looming in the UFC's heavyweight division. Ngannou, who recently defended his heavyweight title against Cyril Gane last month at UFC 270, is getting ready for knee surgery that would sideline him for the next 6 to 9 months and isn't likely to step into the octagon this year. But he does have one fight outside of the cage that the MMA media will have their eyes on, and that's his contract negotiation with the UFC. As heavyweight champion, a knockout artist from a region rich with potential and a fan favorite, Ngannou has a ton of leverage in contract negotiations. He's consistently said that this contract isn't about the money, it's about allowing him to fight boxing outside of the organization. One man who is watching with a keen eye is a well-known boxing promoter, Eddie Hearn. The Brit has been pretty chatty online about his thoughts concerning the situation, and while on the MMA Hour recently, he was asked about this specific contract dispute that looms large over the MMA world. This is what Hearn had to say.
Ultimately now, during that period, the pressure's on the UFC to go to Francis Ngannou and do a new deal. And they'll significantly overpay him from where he was at. But it comes down to the sort of feeling of the fighter to say, I don't want to, I feel like I've been almost mistreated, so I don't want to be here anymore. But I would be shocked if they didn't do a new deal with Francis Ngannou. I would say it's on almost certainty that they will, the time it all plays out,
Hearn recognized the pickle that the UFC is in. If they let him walk, he'll take the undisputed UFC heavyweight title with him. If he stays, the UFC will not only overpay, but will most likely have to promise something they've only truly allowed one other man to do, Conor McGregor. The Irishman was allowed to fight Floyd Mayweather in a boxing fight and did a whole world tour to promote the thing. It was a massive payday for not just Mayweather and McGregor, but also the UFC, as Dana White certainly made sure that they got their cut. When Ngannou said he'd want to fight the best boxers in the world, one man who put his hand up for it was WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury. In fact, Fury recently said that he sees this fight happening early 2023 and possibly with small gloves, given that he would have an advantage with the big 10-ounce gloves. But what do you think about Eddie Hearn's comments about how he thinks this whole thing will play out? Let us know down in the comment section below. 2. After his big knockout of Jonny Walker, Jamahal Hill has sights set on Jiri Prochazka. The UFC's light heavyweight division is slowly heating up, especially after number 12 ranked Jamahal Hill knocked out number 10 ranked Jonny Walker at UFC Vegas 48 on Saturday. The main event went quick, as Hill barely needed half the first round to finish Walker in spectacular fashion with an overhand right. He slept Walker and then rushed in to finish the job before referee Jason Herzog put a stop to the action. It was his second first-round knockout in a row after dispatching Jimmy Crute in the first round in December. Hill's never one to call out fighters, but does he have a dream opponent? You betcha. During the post-fight press conference, this is what Hill had to say in regards to his next opponent.
Right now, other than really like the Jiri fight, not really. I haven't really nobody else is really like everybody else is tied up, and then like the way that they fight, kind of like how they bring the fight out.
Hill goes on to talk about how he sees Jiri as a similar fighter to him, who loves to just bang it out in the center of the octagon, and Hill's confident that his right hand can send the Czech native to the mat. Jiri has only fought in the UFC twice, both impressive first-round knockout wins over Volkan and Dominic Reyes, two men who have challenged for the LHW title in the past. Jiri is actually set to take on champion Glover Teixeira at UFC 274 on May 7th, and is no doubt tied up in training. Meanwhile, Hill took the opportunity of the main event to showcase his strong right hand. Don't forget, this fight against Walker was only turned into the main event after the original main event between Rafael Fiziev and Rafael Dos Anjos was rescheduled to March after Fiziev was unable to secure a visa in time. But what do you think of Hill's big win on Saturday? And who do you think he should fight next? Before we get to our next story, Take a second to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on the latest fight news. 3. Isreal Adesanya blasts Kamaru Usman's manager for pushing the two friends to fight. With how dominant both Isreal Adesanya and Kamaru Usman have been as champions in the middleweight and welterweight divisions respectively, there's been a lot of chatter about these two one day fighting each other. But both fighters have consistently said that they don't want to face each other, on account of the fact that both are not only Africans, but Nigerian nationals who have enough pride in their homeland to want to see as many UFC champions from there as possible. But recently, Usman's manager Ali Abdelaziz alluded to the fact that since the two aren't best friends, and if the money is there, they could be coaxed into battling against one another for one to become a champ. Adesanya heard those words and is spitting them back into Abdelaziz's face. While he was on the MMA Hour, Ariel Helwani asked Adesanya about this, and this is what the middleweight champion had to say.
Peanut Head did it was just disgusting. I usually kind of express that, how we do it in our gym, and the code that we have. And like I said, me and Kamaru definitely feel the same way. What's the point? This is bigger than us. Kids are going to look at us, you know, generations from now and be like, those guys from Nigeria, they did that. You know, they ruled this whole thing.
Both fighters are undefeated in the UFC in their weight classes. Adesanya is 11-0 at middleweight, while Usman is 15-0 at welterweight. At the moment, they are the two longest reigning and most dominant male champions in the UFC, and this is historic for Africans, given that they are 2 of 3 current UFC champions if you count Francis Ngannou from Cameroon. Adesanya just defended his title for the 4th time against Robert Whittaker in a largely one-sided affair at UFC 271 last week. But what do you think? Do you believe Adesanya will never fight Usman, no matter how much money is involved? Or do you agree with him and believe that Ali should just pack it in? There's always so much going on in the fight world, and we got it all here for you on MMA Rumor. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and hit the notification bell to keep updated with all things MMA. Thanks for watching.